1 Month to Forever. Episode 1. In the city where traffic never sleeps and promises are made over endless cups of tea, Daniel Adeyemi was known as a man of order. He believed in structure, in planning, in doing things the right way, even when no one was watching. Daniel was the kind of man who arrived early and left only when the lights above his desk were the last still glowing. Calm, deliberate, dependable, the sort of man colleagues trusted with responsibility and friends trusted with secrets. At 30, his life wasn't loud, but it was solid. A steady job, a modest apartment, a future carefully mapped out. And at the center of that future was one woman, Amara. For 6 years, every decision Daniel made bent gently toward her. They had prayed together, argued through misunderstandings, forgiven each other's flaws, and grown in ways only time and commitment allow. She wasn't just his fiancée, she was the shape of his tomorrow. Their wedding date was circled boldly on his calendar, 1 month away. That afternoon, Daniel Adeyemi sat at his office desk, eyes scanning the same document for the 3rd time without reading a word. His phone lay beside him, face up, silent, until it rang. Amara. He smiled before answering. "Hey," he said warmly, "I was just thinking about you." The silence on the other end felt wrong. "Daniel?" Amara said. Her voice was calm but not peaceful. It carried the careful steadiness of someone who had already rehearsed what she was about to say. "Yes," he replied, straightening in his chair. "I don't think we should go ahead with the wedding." The words didn't register immediately. They hovered in the air, waiting for explanation, for context, for a reason that made sense. Daniel let out a small, uncertain laugh. "What do you mean? Is something wrong?" Another pause. "I don't feel ready anymore," she said. "I don't think I can do this." His fingers tightened around the phone. "Amara," he said quietly, "we're 1 month away. Talk to me. What happened?" "I don't know how to explain it. Nothing specific. I just can't continue." No fight, no accusation, no tangible reason, just a quiet collapse of 6 years. "I'm sorry," she added softly, and then the line went dead. Daniel sat still as the sounds of the office slowly returned, keyboards tapping, phones ringing, laughter drifting down the hallway, as though the world had decided to move on without him. He stared at his phone, then at the wedding countdown glowing faintly on the screen. 29 days. He turned the phone face down, as though it had accused him of something. At exactly 3:17 p.m., Daniel Adeyemi stood up and reached for his jacket. It was unlike him. Daniel was known for staying late, sometimes too late. 6 years of discipline had shaped him into the kind of man colleagues admired, reliable, calm, deliberate, the kind of man who planned his life carefully, step by step. And for 6 years, every step had been toward one woman. As he moved toward the door, his hand lingered briefly on the handle. Then a voice broke the silence. "Daniel, you're closing early?" It was Ethan, leaning against the doorframe with raised brows. 2 others stood nearby, pretending not to listen, but listening anyway. "Are you okay? You've never left before sunset." Daniel turned slowly. He forced a smile, not the kind that reached the eyes, just the polite one men wear when words fail them. "Just some things to sort out," he said. Ethan studied him. "Wedding stress?" Daniel opened his mouth to answer, closed it, opened it again. "Something like that." The silence stretched, thick and uncomfortable. Ethan finally stepped aside. "All right, man, drive safe." Daniel nodded, grabbed his keys, and walked away before the tightness in his chest turned into tears. The road home felt longer than usual. Every junction carried a memory. Fabric shopping, venue inspections, late-night calls, shared laughter. 6 years of planning, 1 sentence of undoing. By the time he reached his apartment, the sun was already leaning west, bathing the compound in tired orange light. And without knowing it yet, Daniel Adeyemi was stepping into the longest night of his life. In his car, he went back to memory lane, how he met Amara. Some love stories begin with fireworks. Others begin with fate. But this one began with an empty wallet. Daniel never believed in coincidences. At 30, he believed life rewarded careful planning, steady job, structured routines, predictable days. Love to him was something you worked toward, not something that surprised you. That belief followed him into a small roadside eatery on a rainy Thursday evening. The place was crowded, plates clinked, conversations overlapped, rain tapped impatiently against the windows. Daniel ordered a simple meal, rice, chicken, and a bottle of water, then reached into his pocket. His heart skipped. No wallet. He searched again. Jacket pockets, trouser pockets, nothing. The cashier waited. The line behind him shifted impatiently. Embarrassment crept up his neck. That was when a soft voice broke the tension. "Please add his bill to mine." Daniel turned. She stood there, calm, confident, wearing a gentle smile like kindness came naturally to her. Her name, he would soon learn, was Amara. "I forgot my wallet," Daniel stammered, ashamed. Amara laughed lightly. "It happens, don't worry about it." He offered excuses. She waved them away. They sat together, not because they planned to, but because fate had already made the decision. They talked about work, about dreams, about fear, about how lonely cities can feel even when surrounded by people. When the rain finally stopped, neither of them noticed. That night didn't end with exchanged numbers. It ended with something deeper. 2 hearts quietly marking each other. 1 year of just talking. They kept running into each other. At the eatery, at a bus stop, at a supermarket aisle. Sometimes they talked for minutes, sometimes for hours. They never rushed it. For 1 whole year, Daniel and Amara talked face to face. No pressure, no labels, no promises. Just conversations that felt like home. Daniel learned that Amara believed love should feel safe before it feels exciting. Amara learned that Daniel carried his heart carefully because he feared losing it. One evening, under soft lights and trembling hands, Daniel finally decided. He planned a surprise with some close friends and family members. Candles, music, a ring hidden deep in his pocket. When he went down on one knee, his voice shook. "Amara, you paid for my meal when you didn't have to. Since that day, you've been paying for parts of my heart without knowing. Will you marry me?" She cried. She said yes. That night felt like destiny had finally spoken. 6 years of love. Years passed, years of laughter, of arguments that ended in apologies, of shared dreams and future plans. Wedding plans were discussed, families were introduced, dates were set, then postponed. Life became busy. Daniel worked longer hours, not because he wanted distance, but because he wanted security. He wanted to be enough. Amara waited. She understood, or at least she told herself she did. Years of choosing each other in small, ordinary ways. 6 years of patience, of compromise, of believing that love, when tended carefully, would eventually bloom into forever. 6 years reduced to a vibration in Daniel's palm. There was no warning, no raised voices, no dramatic argument that might have made the pain easier to understand. Just a calm voice on the other end of the line, steady, almost gentle, delivering words that landed like a quiet earthquake.